Hey folks, Ariel over here, where today I want to do a little winter bee update. I didn't really realize that there would be such a thing as a winter bee update to do, but it's about mid-January. As you can see, it's pretty snowy here. If you're new, welcome. We live a little over 6,000 feet above sea level in the Wyoming mountains. They're taller than what you can see back there. The clouds are kind of hiding things today. And this is our first winter with our hives of honeybees. So it's very interesting to see what is going on. So check this out. Clear down at the end of this path where Burley is walking is our one hive. The other one is over there close to the solar panels. This path that he's walking in, I just snow blew out just before I grabbed the camera because the snow is now hitting me about mid-thigh. I don't know if you can see that. That's mid-thigh, my knees down there. Anyway, that was getting a little deep to be able to come over here and check on. I had not previously cleared this path. I was just wading through. So I want to show you a couple things. First, check this out down on the ground. See how there is actually mud I can dig up? Soil, soft soil. That ground is not frozen at all. It will be by tonight. Right now the temperature is about 12 Fahrenheit out here, so well below freezing. It's been mostly below freezing, a lot of it below zero for months. And the ground was frozen. We got some very, very cold temperatures before we got any deep snow, but now it is pretty well insulated with that deep layer of snow, and the ground has defrosted from the ground heat. That is one of the big saving graces for a lot of plants here in our climate, I'm pretty sure. The fact that, hi baby, the ground usually stays insulated for much of our cold weather. So anyway, back to bees. Thought you guys would get a kick out of that. Soft mud I can dig with my fingers at this time of year. Ooh, here I wanted to show you this too. Now, Bradley and I both walked on. It's a little hard to see, but as the snowblower cut through here, you see this tunnel that was going under there. It keeps going off to either side. That is a mouse tunnel. I uncovered several of them. Didn't see the mice, but they tunnel under the snow all winter long, and that is one reason that it's hard for cats or anything to catch them. They don't have to come on the surface till spring, but we uncovered a few of their trails through here. Now we come over to this hive. Part of the reason I wanted to clear up to it here was so I could more easily get here to be able to shovel snow down. A couple times now the snow has been getting up high enough to close their opening vent hole here. See how right inside there, if I turn around to that hallway open, there's some dead bees piled up. Those are ones their friends have hauled to the door and just didn't get shoved out. It was probably really cold or something. Out here you can see several dead bees in the snow. Some from different days. There's some spread out a bit across the snowpack here. The furthest out I've found a bee so far from the hive is about 300 yards. This is normal. Bees die through the winter. Hopefully not the whole colony, but, various bees die of old age. And this is what a healthy colony should do, is bring them out of the hive here. So I'm just going to brush those couple guys out. And don't know if you can see. There, that kind of shows it. They've partially propolis their opening closed on the inside there. You're seeing the edge of two frames. But before that, you can kind of see how they've semi-closed their entrance just so there's less air movement or cold air. Before I forget, I'm going to turn this back to its winter setting that they can get in and out if they want, but a mouse can't get in. So, as long as there is live bees carrying out dead bees, that hopefully means that they are doing well. Also, if you're not familiar and didn't get a good look at the whole box here, this is our Layens style insulated hive. Insulation in the walls, floor, lots of extra insulation in the ceiling, attic space during the winter. And we are hoping, we've got a lot of winter yet to go before the bees will be, before it'll be spring, so we can tell whether the bees made it to spring or not. But so far, it's looking encouraging at least. So, we've checked on that hive. Pardon my lips being just a little stiff. It's chilly out here, and when you blow snow, which is what I was doing a second ago, it's easier to get pretty cold compared to when you're shoveling snow, and it's fairly easy to get way too warm. We've had a freezing fog here all day today. Let's check on the other hive. You can see the fog had partially lifted, but it's not clear of the mountains. And our other hive, right over there. But to get to it without wading through the deep snow, come over to the path that I made over to the solar panels to clean them off. And then I made a nice little tunnel to here. Now I did this more recently as well, but not today. And here I just want to show you this. It was the same. The day I did it, the ground was totally soft. Now it is frozen rock hard in the area where it's now exposed. This hive, I have, if you're wondering why the doors don't match, you notice how the silver ones only have 4 settings. Some of the newer door circles I've got have that 5th option that seems to be the perfect thing for them in the winter, those fat holes they can get out of when they're at their winter weight, which is a little heavier, but a mouse can't get in. So I swapped around some of the door discs to be sure that both hives had one like that on their opening for the winter. Hi Kitty, you're checking out bees with me too? Thanks for coming. And some of the hives I hadn't got them all painted, so that's what you're looking at there. Here once again in front of the door we see kind of a pile of dead bees in the snow, various ones scattered across. The little black flecks in the snow kind of stand out. This hive, this is a bit of an experiment. This entrance faces south. That would be the sunny side since we're in the northern hemisphere. That is generally the warm, direction. And these guys do seem to come out on a sunny day. Velcro is pretty determined to be part of this operation here. These guys do come out on a sunny day. They have been flying around. Even the coldest air temperature I saw is when it was 10 degrees Fahrenheit, but the sun was out. And some of them were out flying around, just kind of doing a potty break, hauling out a dead bee, that kind of thing. Velcro, you're really making some camera shake here. That's not very helpful. And putting your tail in my face isn't really either. Anyway, they they seem to be doing well, and I even saw a drone bee come out the other day, which was interesting. I've read a lot of the older literature, older as up until like a year or two ago, seems to say that the bees kick out all the drones in the winter. I have now from my, because those are the male bees, they're not generally needed to lay new eggs because they're not raising new babies in there till spring, and so why feed them when they're pretty useless at that time of year. I have now personally observed, we're about midwinter here, that we still had at least one drone in there because I saw him fly out, and I've heard from several other folks, including my father, he also has, his winters are not quite as harsh as ours because he's in Pennsylvania, but that he also has some drones still in his hive, and it seems like bees do keep some around, at least if they're doing well. So we hope all these hives are doing well. Hopefully that last bit wasn't too shaky. This little lady was making it very hard to hold the camera still. Do you want to say hi to everyone, or you just want to cuddle and be petted? Yeah. Yeah, you can cuddle and be petted. Anyway, so this is interesting. I've heard in the past that bees do come out and take like their potty breaks and clear out dead ones and such. The way I've always read of that being described is, oh, they come out on a nice warm winter day when it gets, say, into the 40s, and the sun is out and so on. So it was very interesting to me to see it happen when it was nowhere close to the 40s. Like I said, the one day it was 10 degrees, and we still had bees doing that. Now, a lot of beekeepers, stuff that I've read is not from people that are in places quite as cold as us. So that's just interesting. Like I said, the furthest bee I've seen from the hive was about 300 feet away, laying dead in the snow. It might have been a weak bee that went out to have its last flight, or it could have been one that thought it was warm enough to go that far and then got too cold to fly back. I'm not sure. Either way, though, even for me, I look at it and I'm like, oh, there's this handful of dead bees outside the hive. I know that that is normal. They do not all live through the winter. The average individual bee lives in the summer only 5 to 6 weeks. They live a good bit longer in the winter. I'm being distracted by Burley and Velcro playing at my feet now. And now she's going to go bump the camera where it's sitting now. Velcro, you're not a helpful filming crew. And now they've distracted me and I lost my train of thought. Anyway, so it's interesting to see. Oh yeah, so some dead bees is definitely normal. There was probably 50, 60,000 bees in each of those hives going into winter. They would certainly not all be expected to be alive in the spring. It would be very much normal for a significant proportion of them to die off, and the ones that are left and the queen will raise new babies in the spring. So that's totally all right to see some dead bees, just because of a bee's lifespan. So that's what we got going on. Now it'll be very interesting. I'm not really ready for winter to be done by any means, but one little part of me would like spring to get here so that I could see if they're still alive in the spring. But I'm still seeing what seems like, from the best I know, normal winter activity at both hives. Here in the middle of winter, so hopefully that's a good sign. Oh, the other thing I was going to say about entrances, that second hive we look at, the entrance faces south, so it is the warmer direction on a sunny day. We live in the mountains here, kind of in a circle valley, and so we get wind. We don't have like a prevailing wind that always comes one way or always comes the other. We get quite a variety of winds that kind of circle around here because of that, and so I'm also doing a bit of experiment. That one faces the sun, but it also is the direction of usually when we get our strongest winds, they come kind of out of the southeast. So that would blow directly into that entrance. The first hive we looked at, their entrance is actually face north, which is where we least often get wind, but is also outside, not in the direct sun in the winter. So it'll just be interesting to see if that makes any difference. Of course, with only one hive on each side, that's not a great big sample to test, but I wasn't sure what would be best for them, so I did one of each. So this may be the only winter bee update. I didn't even think I was going to have a winter bee update, but we've got one, and we will see if we got good news or not when spring rolls around. But also, if you're wondering about winter hardiness of bees, honeybees are supposed to be quite tough in cold conditions, much like chickens and such, as long as they can stay dry and out of wind. So their hive is well insulated, but also well ventilated, hopefully, so that there should not be a moisture buildup issue, because if you've ever been damp and cold, you know that how much easier it is to get really, really dangerously cold when you're wet. And the hives are well insulated. They're 1.5 inches of natural wool insulation on the sides and bottom, and then on the top. If you looked at our winterizing the hives video back in the fall, we added a big pillow full of wool insulation into that attic space just for the winter. So anyway, that's what's going on. Thought you guys might get a kick out of seeing what that looks like, seeing a little bit of what the ground looks like under the whole snowpack, and seeing some bees move around on a winter day. As you can probably see, there's not exactly anything for a bee to forage out here at the moment. We just looked across the garden. There's the orchard looking down toward the barn. So there is nothing to forage, but they still like to come out for a little stretch.
We hope you enjoyed it.
Come back next time for more adventures.
Thanks for watching.